I think we got some really bad news, and I'm not kidding. Let's get into it. Another week, another list of the hottest comic books in the cosmos, and I have the leader of the Gempire on the line. How you feeling, Gem?
I'm doing great, and you say it's bad news, but I'm thinking it's going to be good news.
Do me a favor, comic fan. We've been doing this video every single week without skipping a beat for over 4 years. Is it over 4 years? I don't know, but it's been a long time. We need you to hit that like button. And the first comic on the list is on here because peeps love collecting Neal Adams and classic key books. We're not even talking Spec. We're talking number 10 on the list, Green Lantern 76. We have the very first Bronze Age comic book.
That's right. The end of the Silver Age comes here, and it seems like we have a lot of back to the basics on this list as well. Collectors picking up key issues, not due to outside media hype. We got a 5.0 up 15% above average. The 5.5 is up 6%. Not even able to keep up with that 5.0. The 7.0 is up 14%, and the 7.5 sold for $5.75, which is 18% up.
This is the start of the Green Arrow, Green Lantern run. Neal Adams teaming up with Denny O'Neil, bringing some seriousness in the pages of comic books, taking on those tough subjects. And the only news we have about Green Lantern is Nathan Fillion portraying Guy Gardner in the upcoming Superman Legacy, Superman film by James Gunn.
Digging the casting on that Superman movie and the Superman emblem as well, man. A lot of cool stuff coming from the DC universe. Swinging back over to Marvel. Number 9 on the list, we've got Incredible Hulk 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine.
You got to keep an eye out on that Marvel value stamp, Shauna the She-Devil, that is found in the pages that are routinely cut out. This is the first appearance in full of Logan, the Wolverine. And we have a incomplete 0.5 copy, likely missing that value stamp, going for $1,175, an increase of 2%. The 3.0 is up 21%. The 9.0 is up 3%. And we see a 9.2 up 6%, selling for a strong $9,600. But is that strong considering that just in May 2021, a 9.2 reached a total of $19,800? Hot damn.
Now, we know we're getting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine, but now we're getting rumors that there may be multiple Wolverines in this film.
We know we're going to see Dogpool. That's confirmed. We may see Lady Deadpool, leading us to believe that we may see multiverse versions of Wolverine. It makes sense. And Daniel Radcliffe rumors have been persistent over the last year. And we've also heard Daphne Keane, X-23 rumors. And this past week, we are seeing multiple leakers saying that this is all but confirmed, even though that they had started this process last year. They are claiming that the actors' strike is what delayed this announcement.
The closer we get to this movie, the more I'm feeling like we're going to get crazy cameos in here. Could you imagine Daniel Radcliffe as Patch? Who do you think they're going to throw at us in this movie?
Which brings us to number 8 on the list. Have you hit the like button yet? Damn it! Hit the like button, and let's talk about Neal Adams. This is Batman number 251, one of my favorite key books from the Bronze Age of all time. This is when Joker goes full sadistic villain, and with the upcoming Joker film, Lady Gaga portraying Harley Quinn. This book is on fire, but I can't help but give some credit to Chip Zdarsky.
He recently teamed up with Andrea Sorrentino to tell the Joker's origin in the 3-issue backup series, Joker Year 1.
The 4.0 is up 17%, the 6.0 13%, 7.5 4%, and the 8.5 is up 17%. The 9.2 sold for $2,000, and that's an increase of 9%. And we have a first recorded Mark Jeweler sale in a 3.5, selling for $265.
And we can't forget the Joker sequel is inbound. Director Todd Phillips posted on Instagram 3 pictures for Valentine's Day with the caption, "Hoping your day is full of love."
The movie comes out October 4th this year. Are you excited to see this film? And let's take a look at number 7 on the list because we have an anniversary to celebrate. Can you believe? It's been 40 years of Autobots. We have Transformers number 1 from 1984, making the list again.
This book has made the Hot 10 multiple times ever since the resurgence of the Transformer comics in the Energon universe. We got the 5.0 up 15%, 7.0 is up 12%, the 7.5 is up 26%, the 9.4 sold for $230 for an increase of 16%. The third printing 9.8 is up 11%, and the regular 9.8 sold for $1,450, staying at about average.
This is the 40th anniversary, and there's a lot of stuff going on with Transformers this year. There are 40 new toys being released, and all branded with the 40th anniversary logo being released by Hasbro. There's a whole new line of t-shirts and other apparel. The animated movie, which we just talked about last week, is inbound, and we also have the re-release of the original score from the animated series. And that's not all. Marvel's going to be releasing a new graphic novel, a compendium series collecting the landmark Transformers series brought to you by Marvel Comics that's coming out in the fall.
That's cool, but what we really need is an omnibus.
That is true. And also, don't forget, Void Rivals, after a hiatus since November, is back this week with issue number 7. Add it to your pull list. You will not be disappointed. And let's take a look at number 6 on the list with Iron Fist number 14, the first appearance of Sabretooth, who will likely be decapitated in Deadpool 3.
This book has been hot since the announcement of Deadpool 3, just assuming that they're going to throw all these different mutants at us. And then, of course, we got the leaked footage from the set showing Sabretooth from the Fox universe getting decapitated by Deadpool. The 3.0 up 11%, the 5.0 is up 26%, the 6.5 is up 18%, all these double-digit percentages. 7.0 is up 10%, the 7.5 is holding steady at average, the 8.5 is up 8%, and then 9.4 came in at $840, also staying at about average.
The last recorded 9.8 sale this month clocked in at $3,450. Considering this book hit heights of $6,000, and it's a beloved comic book and a major Wolverine key, I can't help but think that the reminder that Sabretooth is likely inbound for Deadpool 3 is probably just the catalyst collectors needed to secure this comic book and add it to their PC. Moving on to number 5 on the list, we have New Mutants 87, the first appearance of Cable with Josh Brolin news. Kind of.
Yeah, it's funny. We've been seeing a lot of Deadpool keys, New Mutants 98, of course, but what about that other Liefeld key? Finally making the list is New Mutants 87, and there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, Liefeld has a private CGC signing upcoming, and like you mentioned, Brolin was asked whether he was going to reprise his role as Cable for Deadpool and Wolverine, and this is what he had to say.
I can't say anything. I mean, you can't. Yes. Wow. No. That says it all. Maybe.
So basically confirming it, but not. He's not very good at holding it back. I think he's going to be in the movie. What do you think? And the 7.0 is up 32%, 7.5, 20%, 8.5, 11%. We also have a 9.0 going up 38%, a 9.2, 11%, 9.4 is up 9%, and then a 9.6 you can get for $237. Seems cheap to me. Up 18%.
And we have another Mark Jewelers, a CGC 7.5, which broke record. It last sold for just $66 in May of last year. Up 203%. It just sold for $200.
You got until May 17th to submit those books to the CGC for that Rob Liefeld signing. And next on the list at number 4 is Uncanny X-Men 130, the first appearance of Dazzler. And I'm getting more worried by the day that you're not going to sign up to the mystery mail call. Just kidding. You probably already are, but if you haven't joined the community, we'll send you comics every single month. And this month, if you go to ComicTime101.com, we'll send you a Raph Grassetti Venom foil, as well as our very first Chrissy Zulo cover, a very cute Gwen on Edge of Spider-Verse #1, which is also the first appearance of Weapon 8.
They're already signed up to the mail call. Back to Dazzler. This book is not going to come off the list until it's confirmed that she's not in the movie. And if she does show up in the movie, I don't know where this book is going to go from there. Look at all of these sales. Newsstand 7.5 is up 10%. Newsstand 8.5 is up 20%. The 8.5 is up 27%, and then more newsstands. The 9.0 is up 18%. The 9.4 is up 9%. The direct market 9.6 sold for $525, 18% above average. And then we have a newsstand 9.8 that sold for $2,200 for an increase of 29%.
And we have record-breaking sales to report on. Hot damn, the newsstand 4.5 last sold for $100 in December. It's now selling for $129 for an increase of 29%. The 5.5 last sold for $100 in 2022. Last sale, $129, an increase of 29%. And then, hot damn, another Mark Jewelers, 9.6. I wonder if they're going to try to crack it and regrade it. Last sold in 2021 for $494, up 214%, now selling for $1,540.
Moving on to number 3, Star Wars 1 is back on the list, and this time there's actually reasons for it to be on the list.
Yeah, we have some pretty big news in the auction world, but we'll get to that because this book has been selling aggressively, I suspect because of how affordable it's gotten. The heights at 9.8 reached back in April 2022 was nearly $10,000, and the last sale this month was $3,500 for a 9.8. Let's get to it because the 5.5 is up 1%, the 8.0 is up 11%. There were 4 different 8.5s that outsold the 12-month average for an increase of 17%. The 9.0 is up 5%, the 9.2 19%. Hot damn, I'm going to skip some numbers. Go check out Key Collector Comics. Utilize code TOM101 to unlock a free 2-week subscription to get access to all this data that we report on every single week before we even hit the mic. The 9.6 sold for $960, an increase of 3%. And the heights a 9.8 reached last week was $4,320, and that's an increase of 14%, nearly $1,000 more than the last sale. That's why you got to watch the channel and why you got to keep up on this rapidly moving marketplace, because some peeps are scoring 9.8s of Star Wars $1,000 less than some members are getting it just a week later.
And guess who else is selling their Star Wars memorabilia? C-3PO actor Anthony Daniels. And probably the biggest item on that list is a screen-matched light-up head that he wore in Return of the Jedi. They're thinking it's going to auction for somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million.
Now, that may sound like an aggressive number, but just last year, Daniels also sold another C-3PO head, and it sold for $850,000. Seeing it go for $1 million potentially is not a far stretch.
And we might have to buy it right here. Gossip site The Sun recently reported that Leonardo DiCaprio has a huge Star Wars collection, including a bunch of mint-on-card Star Wars figures from the 80s.
Listen to this quote. Still in their boxes and worth a fortune. He buys them on online auctions using a fake identity so people don't know they're bidding against one of the most famous celebrities in the world. I can't help but think that he may not realize that you can't really figure out who's buying what on auction sites. All that's pretty private.
Not only does he have a huge collection of Star Wars, but he actually turned down the role of Anakin Skywalker for the prequel films.
Could you imagine Leonardo DiCaprio as Anakin? What do you think about that in the comments section below while we move on to number 2 on the list with New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool. A plethora of sales. We're just going to hit the big ones, the highlights. The 9.2 had 3 copies outsell the average for an increase of 25%. The 9.4 went for $443, less than the 9.2 height that was reached this past week for an increase of 3%. And then we also saw 6 different 9.6s sell, the highest being a $600 sale for an increase of 10%.
All right, guys, now on to the bad news or the good news, depending on how you look at it. Hollywood Reporter spoke with Disney CEO Bob Iger, and he stated that the Deadpool vs. Wolverine movie is going to be one of the more successful Marvel movies. Later on in that article, he's gone on to say that some projects had to get canceled because they just didn't feel like they were strong enough.
Now, he didn't get very specific, but he definitely stated that there are movies that have been announced that have already been canceled that we do not know of. Who knows what that can mean as it pertains to Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, or any Disney movie. There could be books that we are speculating on that members are investing in that have already hit the trash can. This is what the Disney CEO had to say. You have to kill things you no longer believe in. And that's not easy in this business because either you've gotten started, you have some sunk costs. It's not an easy thing to do, but you have to make those tough calls. He has stated that there could be already things filmed that have already hit the chopping blocks and we don't even know about it yet.
Listen, with the amount of money that Disney has lost over the last couple of years, it makes sense that they're going to be more calculated with their releases. And I personally think that that's a good thing.
Which brings us to the number 1 hottest book in the world, the most hunted, invested comic this past week. Is it any surprise? It's Wolverine, number 1. Frank Miller covered the very first solo series featuring Logan.
For the 5th time this year with a slew of sales, and I can't help but wonder, is it the possibility of multiple Wolverines that's pushing it above Deadpool's first appearance, even Wolverine's first appearance? Why has this book been the one that's been championed? I don't know. It just keeps selling. The 9.2 up 58%. 3 copies outsold the average. The 9.4 is up 8%. Again, 3 copies outperformed. The 9.6 is up 25%. 11 copies sold above its 12-month average. The newsstand 9.6 sold for $455 for an increase of 30%, also having 3 copies outsell the average. And then we have 9.8, the direct market, coming in at $780 We were just recently reporting on it selling for around $650. It's up 17% above average, and 7 copies outperformed. And then finally, the newsstand 9.8 clocking in at $1,349 for an increase of 10%.
Is it because Deadpool is the only Marvel movie coming out this year? Is it because of Wolverine love? Are people just getting hyped up and ready for the inevitable reintroduction of the mutants in the MCU at large? Let us know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you own any of these books? And, as always,
Geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
enough said.